My first year at Oxford University didn't go exactly how I imagined. I thought it would all be about grades, productivity, but really my biggest lessons came from my fails, my struggles, and trying to just generally keep myself together. So here are 3 unexpected lessons I learned in my first year. Chapter 1, a lesson in intelligence. One thing that I now hold to be true that I didn't previously is that intelligence is more of a learned trait than it is an inherent skill. The fact that I thought, oh, if the curve of intelligence is normally distributed, then surely regionally there'd be equal amounts of people from different areas. But in reality, there was large regions or schools even that were getting 30, 40 people alone into the university. And initially this crushed my belief in meritocracy, but then I kind of reevaluated and I thought, well, actually, are the skills like critical reading, writing, are these things that you're naturally born with? And I thought, no, the myth of a naturally intelligent person. I believe for the vast majority, these are things that can be learned and practiced over time. And I think there's also a trap in comparison that can make you feel, I'm so silly, I shouldn't even try. And you give up before you even give yourself the chance. I think one particular example of this is looking at a tutor who's been teaching history for 40 years, which I had in the first term, and you think, oh my gosh, this person is so intelligent, they know so much more than me, how can I possibly send them my terrible work? Actually, why am I comparing myself to this person, although they are brilliant, has been chiseling and working away at this skill for years and years and decades. So the thing is, you just don't see the whole journey of how they got to where they are. We often in society praise intelligence as this sort of innate skill or ability that some people just have or don't have. The same with creativity. They either don't or they do have it. The truth is, being erudite or knowledgeable is something that you build over time. Just like going to the gym, you put in the reps. I think in the same way, to become intelligent, you put in the reps of critically thinking, reading, talking to people. And this is kind of a lifestyle. It's a process. It's not a thing that just some people possess and some people don't. And of course, it comes more easily to some people. But I don't buy it in the same way when you get praise for intelligence. And I think because some of my self-worth used to be in being smart at school, you just quickly realize how flaky this is as an identity, because as soon as you get a bad score, you're like, oh no, I'm no longer intelligent. No, it's simply a bad score. There's a really good article by Paul Graham on bad tests, which I'd really highly recommend. And if you're watching this thinking, great, I'm getting C's and B's, just remember that results from cultivating your intelligence aren't instantaneous. They take time and they take repetitions, and you can definitely do it. Personally, this has led me to learning a lesson for next year, which is if I'm going to get into 40k of debt for this history and politics course, I might as well not just focus on the grades, and they are undeniably important. I also think following your curiosity might be more valuable. Just going to additional lectures, additional talks on different topics. And I think what I would say is, if in school you're really not finding that this way of working is for you, well, what do you find interesting? So maybe follow your curiosity on the side. Even if you're not naturally book smart, I deeply, deeply believe within me that everyone has intelligence. And everyone is a deeply intelligent human being. Here's a brutal truth I wish someone would have told me before coming to Oxford. Rest is not optional. Sounds obvious, right? But in Oxford, I feel there's an implicit messaging or an underlying tone, not pushed by anyone in particular, but just by the nature of the people there, that you constantly need to be doing more. You're constantly falling in behind. Why are you not in the library for 8 hours? And you feel like everyone is sprinting ahead, even if you're doing well in a particular area. That's exactly what I tried. In Trinity term, I tried to, and I did successfully stay 2 weeks ahead of all my essay deadlines. And in my head, this was a genius idea. And it meant I was always putting myself under pressure. And to add to that, being ahead never feels like you're ahead enough. It's kind of like a race you're never going to win. And then I also obsessed about the idea of getting a first. I absolutely failed at that, and I ended up getting a complete middle of the road 2-1. I don't know if I could have got that first. I don't think I would have, but I actually think I sabotaged myself by neglecting one thing, which is guilt-free rest. Didn't give myself time off, and if I did have time off, it was because I literally couldn't keep going. Here, the idea of diminishing returns applies as well. In small amount of hours, you try and compact and you do things more efficiently. And as you just sit in a library for longer and longer, you're getting less output for your input. I thought that burnout was essentially for weaklings or people who couldn't work hard or were somewhat lazy. And how wrong was I? Burnout does not mean laziness at all. It means ignoring the fact that your body does have needs and it does have limits, and you're not a productivity robot. You are a human with fluctuating energy levels and times where you can go and you feel unstoppable, and also sometimes when you actually need to take a rest. And I think that's something I've definitely learned this year. And I'm still trying to learn to be kind to myself, ignoring that voice that says, you've not done enough. I'm revisiting this book by Cal Newport, which is called Deep Work, which could be really helpful if you're struggling with the same issue. University is about having experiences and having fun. And I think that last year, my work took up too much of a bulk of that time, and more than it actually needed to. I'm scheduling time for exercise, my own personal reading, and to remind myself I deserve rest irrespective of if I'm really productive. And here's the paradox. You're often told, and it feels like, rest is wasted time, but at Oxford and anywhere really, is the only way to survive long term. You're not just a student, you are a human being. Being human means rest is not a luxury, it's part of the work. Okay, this is cliche, I know, but it's true. When I arrived, I thought Oxford's magic colleges and libraries were going to be the best part. So I do certainly love the radcam, though all of it really starts to wear off after you have 2 essay deadlines and a reading list that you don't know where to start with. What made this year fun, what got me through, was the people. From the ability to see the ex-president of France to my friend who gave me a hug when I was feeling down, these moments are really what made the year for me. And so if I could give one tip for you if you're starting university, is to be more open to different people, different perspectives. And I know it sounds so unbelievable, and you're like, oh, it's so easy for you to say that once you're at the university. But trust me, like, it really, really is the people. When my friends had prees in one of our rooms and we were dancing at 11 p.m. to just random different music. The number of Gail's trips and walks with friends. One time my friend Emily and I climbed up the Oxford Mound. We broke in without paying. Sorry, that's kind of illegal. Don't tell anyone. And it wasn't just my friends, it was also the people that I got to learn from that I wouldn't have if I wasn't at Oxford. There were always really interesting talks going on. There was a lecture that was focusing on the desire for a ceasefire between North and South Korea, because officially the Korean War is not actually over. And the 2 speakers seem to be polar opposites. One of them being an ex-American army general and the other one being a female peace activist from Korea. The opportunity to witness those 2 people in discussion talking about conflict from just completely different points of view is something that I just found really invaluable. I wouldn't be able to see conversations like this if it wasn't for this university, and for that I'm extremely grateful. And those were just 3 of the lessons that Oxford taught me in the first year. I'm still figuring things out, but I do feel a bit more prepared than I did last year when I stumbled in as a fresher. I hope that some of these lessons can help you to avoid some pain, or maybe not. Either way, it's all part of the process, and embrace the good and bad. If there's anything else you'd like to see me make about study tips or reading or time management, leave it down below, or even subjects at A-levels. I love these videos to actually be useful to people. And if you've made it this far as well, thank you for watching and have a lovely day.